Once, there was a boy named Jack. He lived in a small village with his father, who was a skilled hunter. One day, Jack followed his father quietly through the forest. His father was on the lookout for animals to hunt. Soon, they spotted a rabbit drinking water a few meters away. Jack's father, holding his bow and arrow, aimed carefully. But just as he was about to shoot, Jack moved slightly, causing the grass to rustle. The sound startled the rabbit, and it ran away. His father quickly released the arrow, but it missed the target. Jack's father turned around, looking angry. He knew Jack was hiding and called him out. "Jack, I know you're there. Come out." Jack stepped out, feeling guilty. He was sure his father would scold him, but instead, his father smiled. "You want to be a hunter, don't you?" his father asked. "Yes, father, I want to be like you." His father sighed and said, "It's not easy to be a hunter. Sometimes we don't catch anything. Like tonight. We won't have food because of that. You should be a builder instead. There will always be work for builders." Jack promised his father he would try, but deep inside he had a passion for archery. As Jack grew older, he tried many different jobs, building houses, making knives, and even working as a messenger. But none of these made him happy. At night, he would sneak into the forest and practice moving quietly, just like a hunter. But what he really loved was archery. He was fascinated by how his father used the bow and arrow. Jack often tried to make his own bows out of wood, but each time his father would find them and break them. When he became an adult, Jack decided to go to the capital city. His father had a friend there who could give him a job as a builder. But Jack had another plan. Instead of going to his father's friend, he went straight to the palace. "I must meet Dronacaria," Jack said to himself. Dronacaria was a famous teacher of archery. He trained the king's sons and was considered the best archer in the entire kingdom. Jack knew it would be hard to meet someone so important, but he was determined. When Dronacaria finally met him, he asked, "What do you want?" "I want to learn archery from you," Jack said. "I will work hard day and night. I will follow every instruction." But Dronacaria refused. "I am only allowed to teach princes and kings. If I teach you, you might become as strong as them, and that would be a problem. I cannot break the rules." Jack promised to never bother him again, but deep inside, he wasn't ready to give up. Dronacaria had already become his teacher in Jack's heart. So he picked up some dirt that Dronacaria had stepped on and shaped it into a small statue of the teacher. "You will be my teacher," Jack whispered to the statue. Jack worked hard as a builder during the day and saved enough money to buy a bow and arrow. Every afternoon, he would go near the palace garden, where Dronacaria taught the princes. Jack listened to Dronacaria's lessons from a distance and practiced on his own following the teacher's advice. He shot arrows at trees and trained hard. Even though Dronacaria's instructions were meant for the princes, Jack used them to improve his skills. Over time, Jack became a master archer. At night, he would go into the forest, and with just a whisper of movement, he could sense an animal nearby and shoot it accurately. People began to talk about a mysterious archer who was incredibly skilled. But Jack remained unknown because he didn't have an official teacher. One day, Prince Arjuna, Dronacaria's best student, heard about this archer. Curious, he went to the forest to find Jack. "You're very good at archery," Arjuna said, impressed. Jack, recognizing the prince, bowed down. "Your Majesty." "Let's have a competition," Arjuna said confidently. They started shooting arrows, and to Arjuna's surprise, Jack was much better. Jack hit every target with ease, while Arjuna struggled to keep up. Angry and frustrated, Arjuna asked, "Who taught you?" Jack replied, "Dronacarya is my teacher." This made Arjuna furious. He dragged Jack to the palace and woke up Dronacarya. "This man says you are his teacher. You've broken the law by teaching him." Dronacarya looked at Jack with cold eyes. "I remember this man. He came to me long ago, asking to be my student, and I refused." Jack quickly explained, "Teacher, I stood outside every day and listened to your lessons. I built a statue of you from the dirt you walked on. You are my teacher, even if you didn't know." Dronacharya thought for a long time, then said, "A student must pay his teacher. You owe me a payment for the lessons you took." Jack agreed. "I will do anything." "Then cut off the thumb of your right hand," Dronacharya said. Without his thumb, Jack wouldn't be able to shoot arrows. Without hesitation, Jack cut off his thumb, gave it to Dronacharya, and left without any complaints. Jack returned to his village, and when the people heard about his sacrifice, they were amazed. "Why would you do that?" they asked. "Because my teacher asked me to," Jack said simply. Though he could no longer be an archer, Jack became famous for his dedication to his teacher. He traveled around, sharing his story and teaching others the importance of respecting and listening to their teachers. People admired him, not for his skill with the bow, but for his loyalty and determination. In the end, Jack's name was remembered, not for being a hunter or an archer, but as the greatest student who ever lived.